Okay, so make yourself comfortable. Move those glutes out of the way, get your sitting bones grounded. And today we will focus on neck and shoulders, specifically neck, which really needs our attention more often than we think, and the lower back. And they're actually really related, because what happens in both the neck and the lower back is those anterior curves need to be sustained. And when we take our anterior curves out of those vertebral areas, we get sore. So if we slump, if we round our back, we round our shoulders, round our head, then those muscles get really sore because they're in what's called eccentric contraction. The muscles are being opened and then holding weight. So just make sure whenever you're sitting that your lower back is supported or at least lifted. The more we strengthen the back body, the more those muscles will do what they're supposed to do, which is hold us upright. So they are related, lumbar curve and cervical curve. We have to develop those. I've been hanging out with a lot of babies lately that are just coming into the world. I was surrounded by 7 babies yesterday between the ages of 8 weeks and 6 months, so or 8 months, 7 of them, and just watching how they move and how they're, developing their spine. And then as we age, we kind of go back into that flow. We come into the world like this, and sometimes we leave. We don't want to leave the world like that, though. We actually want to keep the spine strong. So that's why it's really important to have the strength in the back body, but we'll do some releases. So with all of that said, notice how it feels in your back. Get settled, sinking your sitting bones, and you want to go ahead and rock to bring awareness to where your pelvis is. And I've said this lately, is always be aware of how your pelvis is sitting, because the pelvis has everything to do with the rest of the spine. So we want to rock the pelvis slightly forward, pubic bone down, being a little bit more forward on your sitting bones. That's why we do this thing in yoga where we pull the flesh out from underneath the sitting bones. So it helps pull us forward, or sit on something, right? Or put something behind your back to help that. And then when we drop down, then we balance out the mid spine, because we don't want to be sitting all the way. I have a tendency to do too much of this, is you want to pull the rib cage back. So even take your rib cage back and forth a little bit. Maybe we'll even start with this breath. In fact, that would be good. Let's do this. I'm going to come into seated. Hold your shin bones or your knees, or however you're sitting. And you're going to lift your rib cage, and you'll feel the muscles engaging around your kidneys, and then drop it back down. Lift it up, drop it back down. And then just hold on a second, and we'll go up to the cervical. So that's your thoracic. And then with your neck, there's a tendency to lead with the chin, and we want to pull the chin not down, but back and in. And then you'll feel the length in your skull. There's that tendency to do this, which crunches the neck, or in this day and age, tech neck is this, always looking down. And then this overextends these muscles and creates a lot of discomfort. Okay, so we want to lift up, or if you're looking always to one side, or you sleep funny on your neck. So bring the earlobes over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips, and then a little bit of tone in your abdomen. Take a nice deep breath in all the way to the base of your ribs. And then as you exhale, feel your pelvic floor lifting and your lower belly drawing in and up, and your front ribs hugging down. Then hold on to that alignment as you inhale. And then again, engage. So as we exhale, we're descending the sitting bones and engaging up the length of the spine. And then holding the length of the spine, take a deep breath and feel the ribs expanding in all directions. Do that a few times. Notice how your spine moves with your breath. You want there to be enough softness that there's actually some undulation deep inside, while still maintaining that extended alignment, the lengthening of the spine from pelvic floor to crown of head. Okay, then we'll warm up with a little Kundalini breath. Place your hands on your shin bones, and you're going to literally pull back on your hands to lift your chest, not your chin. Chin stays level, and then you come back to neutral. And what you don't want to do is slump over. Okay, so it's just a lift and settle those front ribs down. So let's start slow together, and then I'll increase the pace a little bit. You can choose your own pace. So it's in, out. Through the nose, or you can breathe out through the mouth if that feels better. We're just going to prime the pump of our energy body. You can close your eyes, or if your eyes are open, just let them settle downward a little bit to quiet the brain. We're going to continue this for a bit so that you can start to notice all the subtleties of alignment. As you're drawing up from your heart, what's happening in your arm bones, in your shoulder socket, shoulder blades. Make sure when you come back to neutral, again, you're not slumping. So it's not cat-cow, it's just lifting. Feel how you're working with the muscles around the shoulder blades, between the shoulder blades and the spine, your trapezius and your rhomboids. Find neutral, lift, neutral, lift, neutral. And then really emphasize the breath. This is about awakening energy. Get your prana flowing. Increase your life force. We're going to do this about another 30 seconds. So stay with it. Can you emphasize it more from the base of your ribs rather than the shoulders? Really lift from the solar plexus and then back down. About 10 more times with your breath in through the nose and out through the nose or the mouth. Okay, take a deep breath in, hold. Relax your inner body. And then exhale. Let inner body gently hug towards center. Take some easy breaths. Then you're going to draw your hands up and have your fingers down, dangling down right to the front of the shoulders, and put your thumbs over the top of your shoulders. Okay, kind of a funny little thing. If that's not comfortable, you can do something else, but try and do this and lift the elbows. Now, engage that solar plexus so you're pulling the front ribs together without rounding the lower back. Okay, keep the pubic bone down, front ribs hugged in, and then turn to your left. I'm not going to mirror you. Turn opposite of me and breathe in, and then turn to the right and breathe out. So it's in, out. Now on this, you can close your eyes or keep your gaze forward. If you turn your head, which is nice to do, then it's good to close the eyes so you don't get dizzy going side to side. Again, you're breathing into your left, out to your right, out through the mouth this time, definitely. And this is to awaken the right and left hemispheres of the brain, as well as, once more, getting that energy flowing up and down your central axis. Go at a slower pace if you need to, or pick it up. Find the pace that feels right to you. Gentle internal massage, not only for your spine, but for your internal organs and glands. Make it easy. Relax the space between the earlobes and the arm bones. Feel how your body's responding through repetition. About 30 more seconds. Stay with it. Just slow it down if you need to, but stay present. Now together, we'll take a deep breath in. Pause, relax. Slowly exhale. A few easy breaths. Just notice sensations that are awakening. Okay, one more bit of breath work. This one is not my favorite, but it's a good one anyway. Sometimes it's good to do the things that challenge our opinion. So we're going to pull the arm bones up and let go. So we're going to remember how to let go because we sometimes walk around like that, right? So you squeeze up and drop. It's in and out through the mouth. Keep going. Why I don't like it? Because it starts to build tension in my neck. But it also teaches how to release. So what are you letting go of today? A thought, an opinion, a tension. Let it go. The weight of the world, just drop it off those shoulders. Now, one option is to go twice as fast, which I don't necessarily like, but you might, which is like this. You can try it on. I'm going to start halftime again myself, but do what feels good to you. About 30 more seconds. Feel that heat growing in the neck, of course. Release it. It's going to feel really good to stretch it out. Now squeeze it up. Pause. And let go. Keeping the collarbones broad, the front ribs hugged in, pubic bone down, a little engagement in your core. Drop your chin to the throat. Bring it over across the collarbone to your left, and then down to the right. I call this the pendulum, so you're just going side to side, maintaining the alignment through the torso. Let the breath go, and then inhale to the side. Now you're going to come over to the side and then up and over the top and circle in one direction. Eyes closed if that helps keep you from getting dizzy. Jaw relaxed, tongue relaxed, face relaxed. Next time you come around to center, chin to throat, pause, and then swivel the other way. And take note what you're feeling, what you're hearing. Move with your breath. Pause the next time your chin comes to your throat. Bring your hands to the back of the head, not interlaced, just your fingertips. Let your elbows drop, and then draw your chin down more and go ahead and let your spine round. Rolling back on the sitting bones, stretch the whole back. And then come forward on your sitting bones, lift the rib cage, press the head into your hands, open the throat. And let's repeat that a few times. Now letting the whole spine move, extending the spine, which is opening the front of the spine, and then flexing, opening the back. 3 more times. And we're going to come to neutral. So as we come up, Stack the spine, lift the head with your hands on the back of your head. Feel your thumbs come right under your occiput and lift from the occiput, the base of your skull. And that actually is what helps align the head correctly. So the chin is ever so slightly down, but drawn back through the skull. So press the head back and lift from the occiput. Good. Then bring the fingertips down to your shoulders, just touching the fingertips. And let's circle the shoulders. As we circle this, just keep resolving, dissolving any unnecessary holding in the neck and jaw. Good. And then release it down, relax, shake it out a little bit. Okay. Then we're going to stay upright, but keeping your face forward. Drop your ear towards your shoulder. Feel that first stretch in the side of the neck. Then you could place the same hand down and lean a little more. So now our whole spine is gently curving to the side. Keep your face forward so you feel it in the neck, the side of the neck. Turn the arm open. Okay, so you can pull a little bit if you want and create a little bit more stretch. It's not as, don't go as deep as possible. Go to the first point of sensation. And then you can nod your head yes to feel into different connections. There's so much that connects around there, right? Many, many muscles. And then bringing your face into center, or your head into center, turn your head slightly, just a little bit right and left, shaking it. No, not shaking it, but rotating it. So you're tapping into seeing what you're feeling in your neck today. Find a spot that's just right for you, like, oh, that's where I need it. You want those words to come into your mind, like, oh yeah, that's it. Okay. And you can just stay with that. Or you could bend the elbow with the hand on the floor and go a little deeper, or you could add more on this arm, which is going to change the sensation. Maybe bring the hand to the head. I kind of like to touch the head so I can rest the weight of my head into my hand. And keep sending your breath wherever you feel that resistance, the stretch point. And give your body time to really allow for release. Open up those fibers. Maintain connection with your sitting bones. So you're pressing down into the hip you're moving away from. So your whole spine is getting a little bit of lateral opening. And on the lower side, lateral compression, just as important as the opening. Now go ahead and turn your gaze down. So collarbone or chin towards collarbone. First, if your arm's up, release it down. And then you're going to slowly come up with your torso. And then lastly, lift the head. And then do a little bit of release in the middle. Like, where does it want to move? I'm doing a little figure 8 with my nose. Notice what feels comfortable to you. I'm actually drooling because I relaxed my jaw so much. Oh, it's so good, I'm drooling. All right, let's try the other side. And dropping first that elongated spine, then dropping the head, first sensation, hand down. So the neck is the center of communication, our throat chakra, known as the Vishuddha chakra. Oops, this off. Okay. And it's where we have a relationship with sharing our voice. Go ahead and reach the other arm out and feel your breath coming through the windpipe. Move it around, shaking, or not shaking, but nodding your head, yes, searching the territory. Nodding your head, no. So you're exploring to see where there might be some resistance. So relationship to how comfortable we feel sharing our voice. And also the throat is related to the ears because they're connected. So it's also about our ability to listen well. Let's turn the bicep towards the sky if you're going to bring that arm up. So right now, just really allow yourself to listen to the sound of your own breath and the silent messages from your wisdom body. A few breaths, opening this little bottleneck of the energy system. That's the smallest territory of the chakras. Oftentimes the most tense. It takes a lot to share our voice sometimes, or to deeply listen. Sometimes we just talk to fill space. So can we speak with intention? Turn the gaze down towards the lower arm so you're now releasing the neck, the back of the neck, and then help yourself up. Head comes up last. So let's take some deep breaths, however you move your neck around, but in through the nose, out through the mouth, the ha breath, make a little sound. And that breath, making a little sound like that, keep doing it. Amazingly enough, affects the vagus nerve, which runs through the neck and into the body, and it elicits the relaxation response. So this is why we naturally sigh when we want to relax. We can purposely, intentionally sigh if we want to relax. Okay, so notice what you're feeling in your neck. Okay, be aware of the alignment. Let's take the legs out, because that was a lot of cross-legged position. Okay, I do wash my feet every day, but I live on the land, and they're kind of just stained that way, unfortunately. When I get pedicures, the pedicurist always cringes when they look at my feet. Oh, well, it's good to go barefoot. Walk on the land. Let's take our ankles and move them a little bit. Meanwhile, anchoring the hands so we can keep the collarbones broad, always coming back to the central axis of our spine, so we keep that aligned. Just loosening up the ankles after being cross-legged, and just noticing if you can let your head be like a helium balloon. So it's floating away from the shoulders. Let's circle the ankles. Send your breath all the way down to the toes. Other direction. All right. Then bring the soles of the feet together, knees open. A tendency to do this a lot lately, but I find it relaxing. So we're going to come forward first through the pubic bone. So I'm going to turn this way. You want to draw your lower back in. So even use your hands on your legs to do that. Here I am closing my right eye so I can see better. I feel like Popeye sometimes. So pull forward and notice what's, where you stop, and allow that resistance, because we're just opening. And then from that, you might have your hands on the floor or here or close. Find a place where you feel comfortable, supported with your arms. Drop the chin. And I want you to notice what's happening around your shoulder girdle. We're not collapsing the collarbone. Keep the shoulder blades on your back, meaning let the shoulder blades hug into the heart, and do round the spine, but without collapsing your chest. So coming forward. So keeping the arm bones drawn back a bit as you round from the base of your spine through your mid-back, and then chin comes now deep to the throat, compressing thyroid, parathyroid glands. Notice what you're feeling. Take about 5 more breaths here and ease into it. Just be an explorer. And notice what you can touch in this shape that feels good. Listen to your breath. Listen to the voice of your inner wise woman to know how deep to go or when to back off. Now, as we come out of this form, there's technique, right? We don't just pop out. Part of the practice is releasing the pose. So you want to feel support with your hands. As you exhale, engage the core, which is lifting the pelvic floor and the abdomen, and then slowly coming up. Head's going to come up last. Come to neutral. And then bring the knees together. Straighten the legs out. Bring your hands behind you. And now, keeping the feet about hip distance apart, hip to shoulder distance, rotate forward in the pelvis. Lift your chest. You can keep your chin to your throat. Okay, and the arm bones are rotating out. Turn your biceps out. And then if it feels right, pull your chin back more, only if you don't have neck issues, and let the head come back and rest on your shoulders. Now, if that's too much on your neck, if because you have an injury, that's fine. If you don't have an injury, this is a pretty adaptable part. This puts nice compression. Oh, what was that sound? Nice compression on your sinus processes of the cervical spine. It's a good thing to get those bones pressing. And then coming up, it's really important how you come up. Don't lift your head. I'm going to have you bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, rotate your pelvis first, spine, and lastly the neck, right? So you're not lifting the head, it's coming back through that flow. Hands then come to the thighs, round out so you really feel the opening between the shoulder blades, okay? And then we're going to open the knees, pull forward again, just to neutral, and then round back. So I have my butterfly pants on today, and we can think of our legs being like the wings of a butterfly. Notice what you feel between the shoulder blades. Now this time, keep the knees together and then roll up. Hold the shin bones so you're really feeling the back body. Oops. Lift your front body. Okay. And then I'm going to come off my bolster. And you need to also. Okay. And then from here, keeping the shoulder blades, lifting the heart, chin is level to the ground. The tendency when we lift the chest is to lift the chin. But we don't want to lead with the chin. Try and catch yourself doing that during the day and get that chin back in to neutral. And you're going to slide back so you're getting your weight onto your sitting bones and a little bit on your tailbone. So you bring the feet off the floor and float. This is called Navasana, boat pose. Tone, as you exhale, tone the pelvic floor and the belly. Inhale, lift the heart a little more. So you're exhaling and compressing. Draw the legs together, squeeze them together tightly. Inhale, keep the squeeze and let the chest open. If it feels right, hold the back of the thighs instead and flare the elbows. Option to bring the shin bones up parallel to the floor. It's great to activate the ankles and spread through the toes. Notice what you're feeling. If it's too much, lower the feet. If it's not too much, maybe extend through the legs by squeezing your quadriceps. You should not feel this in your lower back. So this is a good test. Like, are you using your lower back muscles? You want to use your mid back, upper back to lift your heart and your abdomen to hold your core. Last option is to take the hands away, lean back a little more, maybe. Be careful, if your back is tight, you're going to do the modified version. So this could be a great practice for perspective, for the willingness to modify according to your needs. 3 more breaths. Holding the legs, come down. Come up to center and then make a circle with your navel, like you're drawing a hoop around your hips just to unwind. Okay. Okay, now straighten the legs again, and this time we're going to do a little twist because I know it's lower back talking to you, and that was kind of intense. But the reason I wanted to do that is so you can really test, like, what can I do? How far do I go so that it works for me today? Doesn't matter if you could practice a full boat any other day, but what's happening today? Okay, anchor out. Believe me, that's been a huge lesson for me this week. I'm going to put a little frankincense on my charcoal here. So frankincense, lovely scent, awakening to me, helps remind me of that Anandamaya kosha, which is our spiritual body. So we're here taking care of our physical body so the energy flows. How's your feet? Are they awakened? Legs awake, tone the belly. We're going to take one arm up, cross it to the opposite leg, and then do a big shoulder loop. So we're really opening from the heart out to the shoulder, and then rotate the rib cage, rotate the neck. So here you can really test the waters. What happens when we twist is this back shoulder tends to fall forward. So it's better to get the shoulder back and then rotate. Don't let the shoulder fall forward. You want to keep the heart open. If it feels right, you could take the hand a little further. Now, as we twist, be activated with your breath and maybe even a little slight pulsation deep in the core. You could let your hips slightly rotate as well if that feels better. So you're going to feel a little rotation from the pelvis through the ribs and into the shoulder girdle and the neck. To get unwind a little bit and then rewind. So you're pulsating into the twist, and this is a wonderful way of squeezing those discs between your spine, between your vertebrae. Now go right into your furthest point, not forcing or straining, but just where does your body stop? Lengthen, 3 breaths. Deep inner hug. Now you can do this anywhere, anytime that you're sitting. So keep twisting your spine throughout the day, right? Don't wait until yoga class only on Wednesday. You want to do it often. Let's come to center, bend the knees, give yourself a little release. And we'll do the other side. So the legs straight, make sure your feet are at least hip distance apart. It's easier for your pelvis to rotate, okay? And then we're going to take the hands down to lift and lengthen, go neutral, and then bring the arm across and start to turn from. You can let those hips turn a little, even like the feet might go a little bit, one foot a little bit further towards you than the other. So you're going to push out, then your belly, good for the digestive organs, then your rib cage. Take your time, feel it. Then your heart, and then your neck. And your gaze, your eyelid, your eyes coming all the way around. And then allow that inner pulsation, which could be a little bit more movement, where you're really actually moving in and out, or it could be extremely subtle, where you keep, it looks externally like you're in the same pose, but internally you're feeling the shifts with the breath. Each inhalation getting a little taller. Each exhalation giving you that nice internal squeeze. Chest wide open. Hold now for 3 breaths at one point, just to give your body an option to release and relax into the form. And then slowly, slowly unwind, keeping the length of the spine. bend the knees, and we're going to come over the knees now and come on to all fours. Okay. I'm going to keep this blanket personally. Okay. So hands forward at the shoulders. Press into your shin bones. Toenails can come down, but look back and notice if your toes are sickling in. Make sure the inner edge of your foot is long. Toes under if you prefer, but again, make sure they're not wobbling. You want alignment of the ankles, knees, hips directly over knees, press into the floor. Now let's floss the shoulders. Okay, this is what I call flossing or gecko asana. So you're not bending your elbows. Look at your elbows. They're not bending, okay? Hands are anchored, no space under your knuckles. Okay, it's a good way to align your arms. And we're just going into the shoulder girdle, feeling your shoulder blades come together and apart. With your breath, of course. Deep into that. And then notice what your head's doing. Is it dropped? You want to feel yourself lifting from the back of your head. Again, not your nose. Keep the nose facing the ground. All right, drop in. Feel the shoulder blades come together. Drop your spine. So you're feeling that extension. So extension is opening the front of the spine. Bottoms up. Still, as you exhale, tone the pelvic floor and the belly. And then this time, the next exhalation, we're going to move. So press into your hands, round under, chin to throat. And then from here, we're going to go slow. Press your hips as close to your heels as you can without sliding your hands off their spot. Curling the chin in deep to your throat. Lifting the inner armpit. Find that. Can you lift your inner armpits? And what that does is rotates your biceps more towards the sky and gives your neck more space. Meanwhile, keep your knuckles grounded. Can you find all that? And breathe into it. Anchor once more as you exhale. And then as we inhale, we're going to lift in cat. And keep coming forward, keep coming forward, keep coming forward. Tuck your tail. One of the only times I say that. Now you're in a push-up position, but we're going to soften the elbows so we can squeeze our shoulder blades and melt our heart. Melt our hips. Press into the hands, reverse. Round in cat. Come back as far as you can. This time, maybe pop the heel of the hand up. Lift those inner armpits. Squeeze your front body. Plant the hands again. Lift through cat. Draw the tailbone in. Top of the thighs opening. Soften the elbows. Melt. Push into it again with your breath. Let's do this a few times at your own pace. Paying attention to the movement of your pelvis, your spine, opening the hips, opening the heart. This is nice for the lower back usually because we're taking that pelvis back and forth slowly. And oftentimes the lower back is sore when the front hips are tight, right? Open it up. Keep the neck at ease, even though it's moving back and forth. Last one, if you're with me. You'll return to tabletop and find neutral, okay? I'm going to move back a little bit because I have a blanket. Now we're going to come into that push-up position, okay? And lower down in one piece, coming down, 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 down. Oops, I'm a little behind. My hands should be back here. Stretch the legs back. Okay, now take your arms out by your side, palms down off the mat, and go ahead and put your forehead on the floor. You can hear me, and you can just follow guidance. You don't have to see me. Press the tops of your feet to the floor. See if you can get all 5 toenails down. Now engage the muscles of your legs. all the way up. Tone the belly. Now from here, keeping the lower body grounded, slide your shoulders towards your ears and then squeeze your shoulder blades together and let your arms lift off the floor. And then lift your heart and your head. Squeeze. But again, don't let the nose come forward. That's compression in the neck. We've already done that. This time we want to come up with the back of the head to the sky, nose more towards the floor. And then repeat, okay? So you can see lift and lower. Meanwhile, anchor the feet, the knees, and the pelvis. Check in, keeping the nose down. And then hold. Maybe the feet come off the floor because they want to. Then turn your right ear or one ear to the floor, either one, and lower the shoulders, palms now face up, and let your arm bones drop into the floor. Now take some deep breaths into the space between the shoulder blades. Notice how it feels to turn your neck all the way onto your ear. With inhalation, lift the head, turn it to the other side for comparison. Okay, and then all the way to the ear, notice if it's the same or different. Now we'll come to center, so lift the head, turn to center. Place your hands right next to your heart, but off of, wide away from your body. Shoulder blades, arm bones go up, and shoulder blades come together. Then lift from the back of the head, push yourself off the mat, come to all fours, curl your toes under. So we're going to lift into down dog, but I want you to feel the strength of your hands anchoring into the ground, turning those biceps forward. Now come off the knees, bend the knees a lot. And at first, just really actually lift the bottom and even press your head back so you feel your back muscles engaging. And then you're going to start to press and bring your front ribs in to go towards neutral. Lengthen from your armpits to your hips. Okay? We often say hips to armpits, but now your armpits to hips. Knees bent so you can really lengthen your spine. Make sure your neck is at ease. And deep breaths. You can lower through the heels, but you don't need to straighten. If you straighten your legs and your back round, you've lost it. It's bottoms up. Neutral spine. Do you always want to know what your spinal alignment is in each pose? Is it a forward bend, back bend, or neutral? And all twists are best done in a neutral position. Three more breaths. So you're developing some strength in your arms, stability in your shoulders, lengthen your spine. Yes, a little stretch in the back of the legs. That's secondary to what's happening in the spine. Now slowly lower the knees. Lift the head and the heart. And we're going to bring our right hand away from the floor and twist up. Feel the twist in the spine. And then we're going to come down and bring that arm underneath us and point it down a little bit, not straight across, but down. And then roll, twisting your spine, rolling onto that shoulder. And then roll up to bring your heart towards the sky in what we call verted noose or thread the needle. And then roll open. Take the top arm above your head and walk it out. Your chin is super deep to your collarbone and turning towards that top armpit. You want to be on the side of your head, so you're lengthening the neck. Adjust the lower arm, pulling it underneath you to feel the action of opening the space behind your shoulder blade. So get comfortable and feel safe in your neck.
And I don't know the Sanskrit name for this pose. I need to look that up, but it just translates as inverted noose because you're really working on the neck. And then the last option, so feel what's happening in your neck. What I find is people don't get their head turned enough. So you need to be able to look at the ceiling. And then you want this top side of your body to lengthen. So pull your top hip away from your shoulder. Really move that hip back. Okay, so you're upside down and twisted. True yoga. Breathe deeply. Lean into the lower shoulder. This pose actually extends further if you get loose and you bring your armpit towards the knee and even open more, which is, I find, a great prep for shoulder stand. Maybe I should do a class on shoulder stand. Kind of tricky on Zoom. I can't modify you, but that's of interest. Let me know. This is a great option for it. We're still inverted, hips above the heart. So I'm basically on the back of my head now. A lot of energy coming in the neck here. You do you. You make sure you're in a position that feels right. And then surrender. Just let yourself be. All right. We're going to take some finishing breaths to feel what we're feeling. And you got to come out slow. Super important. So first the top hand comes back to the floor for support. And then you start to drag your torso back to midline. Head is still down. Hands are grounded. Chin to throat as you come up. That just is better for your blood pressure. And then slowly bring the neck to neutral. And then you can just wiggle out any old way you want. All right, we have another side to do. So let's anchor and bring the other arm up. It's kind of nice to open. And then you're going to tuck it under. And again, it's down at an angle. So you're not going straight across, you're going at an angle, which is better for the rhomboids. And you really turn your head, chin to collarbone, roll onto the back of your neck, of your head, excuse me, to open the back of the neck. Be gentle. If you can't, stretch out that top arm. Press your hand firmly into the ground, straighten the arm, and then drag your top hip away. Rolling towards the back of that. So you're really getting lots of energy. I'm squishing my mic. I hope this sounds okay. Sorry. My mic is almost in my mouth. So soften into it. Find a place where you can just kind of let go of your effort and receive the energy that's moving through you. Close your eyes and visualize all those rivers and streams that are shifting here, that are opening the floodgates. Let your life force flow in that shoulder. Twisting the spine. Top hip moves away. Those little refinements making all the difference in the world. So you refine the pose for your personal experience. One more breath or two. You can always stay longer. First thing that happens is the top hand comes down for support. Keep your head low. Slowly bring it out. Head comes up last. Whew. Okay. Now we're going to come right around onto our hips. Actually, I'm going to open my blanket. This wood floor is pretty hard. And you're going to lay on your back. And then as you come down, okay, arms by your side in the T position, but hands lower than your shoulders. Okay, I call that lazy T. Adjust. So you're going to draw the shoulders back.
Okay, still long from hip to armpit. Feet are on the ground, and then roll your head right to left. That was a deep twist, deep stretch probably. Gentle rolling. And then bring your head to center. And make sure your shoulder blades are down your back, and you're just gonna press the back of your head to the floor for 3 counts, exhaling. And then inhale, soften. And then exhale, press, just pressing the back of it. If you want to feel your neck muscles are activating, you're strengthening those muscles. And then take a breath in and soften. So continue doing this. Each time you exhale, press the back of the head so you're awakening the neck muscle. So another aspect of the neck, with especially tuck neck, is when our chin is down a lot, those muscles in the back of the neck are overextended, over lengthened, and they can get weak. So we want to press down and awaken those muscles again. And then one more time. And then soften. Once again, let the head roll right to left. And you're going to roll slightly to one side, okay, not all the way to your ear. And again, press. So now you're doing the side muscles. Press the head to the floor, 3 count, breath out. Inhale, soften. Press the head to the floor. Inhale, soften. Again, so enjoy your breath as you're doing this. Make sure your arms are relaxed. More time. I don't know if that was 4 or 5, so let's do one more because I lost track. I kind of dropped into the breath. You'll feel the neck awaken. Now, roll slowly back to center, side to side, release it. So if you tend to look down a lot, you got to notice, see what you're doing with yourself throughout the course of the day. Then add this into your routine a few times a week. Press the side of the head to the floor and let it go. And like with any strengthening, if your neck does feel weak, if you've got tension, then you need to do it. Commit to doing this 3 times a week for 3 weeks, and then you'll see what kind of results you get. One time, this feels interesting, but you're going to get the true results if you repeat with consistency. Pressing in as you exhale, releasing as you inhale. Let's do it one more time together. Release it. Roll the head back to center. Now bring your hands to your head and let's just lift it up. And as you're lifting your head and stretching, look to see that your knees are right above your hips and press towards your sacrum so that your pubic bone's not pulling up to your belly, but moving away from. So you're going to see that. You can even do that a few times so you know what you're doing with your lower back. It's kind of it feels good too. So you're moving from the pubic bone up and then back down. Then hold it down. Lay your head back on the ground. Okay. And then you're going to take your left leg and stretch it out all the way. Keep that same alignment, pubic bone down, and then bring the right leg up. Hold the back of your thigh. Okay, you can let the leg relax and start to draw it up without letting the pelvis rotate. So we're not rolling into the lower back. You're keeping it on the sacrum. Bring it up. Notice where it stops. Take the knee a little bit more towards the shoulder. Again, keep the pubic bone down. If you're not sure what that means, go ahead and roll up. Feel the difference. It's going to change, right? So draw it up. That's going to open more in the hip. You can stay with this or reach inside the lifted leg. Either hold the shin, or if you can get the big toe, hold that. So you're going to hold it. Let the other arm come down. Put it on the thigh. You're pressing down and come into an inverted lunge. So when you keep the sacrum drawn down, onto the sacrum, pubic bone down, you're going to get that opening in the front of the hip, which is often the cause of lower back tension, which I mentioned in the beginning. So you're either holding a leg or holding a toe, opening. Check your shoulders, broad collarbones, and what's happening with your neck. Can you keep the back of your head to the floor so your face is straight up to the sky? And now play around in there a little bit, okay? Avoid being rigid, but notice what you're noticing. Draw it around. And then if it feels right, you could start to straighten that leg a little bit. It might not be what you want to do. Watch this leg that's on the floor. Keep the toes to the sky, pressing back. Open the other leg as much as you can or much as you want to. Staying attentive to the alignment in your pelvis. So as my leg comes to the side, the hip wants to come up. Notice how that feels versus keeping it grounded. So a lot of times these choices of your alignment, let it come not from your head of what you think you should do or what it's supposed to look like, but what are you feeling in your body? You know, I'm giving you suggestions, but the ultimate expression of the form should really come from your internal guidance. So you feel safe and it feels effective. One more breath in whatever pose you are in this inverted lunge position. And then we're going to bring the leg down, keep it off the floor, let the bent knee, straight leg bend, and then let's go here and take the leg across, okay? Rock a little bit, keeping the foot on the floor at first, and this foot is activated. Just gonna look at my time here. Activated, oh yeah, we got time, good. Rocking right to left. And then you could go for a little bit deeper by, first of all, anchor the pelvis and then bring the leg up. Now feel the difference when you pull this leg up and you let your lower back lengthen versus come away. Just do that a few times. Come forward into your chest and then push away back to the sacrum. I mean, just doing that feels good, yeah? How about the breath? Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. Now, if you keep it back to the sacrum, so you're not pulling in, you're drawing back, and then take the top leg and move it away from you. If you go slightly right or left, you'll also find some new territory. This is getting deep into what's called the deep rotators. So they're deeper to the gluteus maximus. And these muscles get really tight when we sit a lot. So you want to stretch those out. How you're feeling overall. You know, Hatha yoga is about taking care of our physical container, our beautiful body temple. And when we do so in a way that feels really nurturing, then our energy body flows more easily. And when our energy is flowing, we can notice how we can feel better emotionally. So if you're having any challenges emotionally, they're going in a direction that doesn't feel so good, move your body. Take care of your body. And that'll move energy. That's why we call, energy in motion are the emotions. Doesn't mean bypassing your emotions. Now I'm going to straighten the leg because it feels good. Just rotate the ankle. Going to do some finishing breaths here so we can get to the other side. Place the knee down. Okay. Now arms open. From here, we're not letting go yet. We're going to keep this little kind of like number 4 position and then roll. Make sure the foot on the floor is in line with your hip, not your pubic bone. So you're going to keep it out to the side and then roll over and attempt to get this foot, see, on the floor. Okay, keep that foot aligned. Draw the knee open. Notice what you're feeling in the hip. option is to drop the knee down if you want more into the spine, or you can keep the knee open into your hip joint, or both by going back and forth with your breath. I've been catching myself holding my breath a lot lately, or maybe just, we naturally hold our breath. Kind of the pause between the breaths is part of the breathing rhythm, but I'm just catching myself more often and then dropping back. It feels so much better to breathe than to hold. So maybe that can be your practice today, is really watching your breath in all that you do. Driving the car, doing the dishes, being in conversation, taking a walk, keeping the breath in mind. Now open the knee up if it's down, draw back to center, straighten the leg to the sky, give your ankle a little rotation, and then we're going to exhale through the leg, make it super strong, and take it all the way to the ground. Lengthen out through the four corners of your feet, and then bring the other leg up, right? So when we do this, we tend to rotate the pelvis posteriorly, want to push away so the pelvis is neutral. Okay, find that. Keep it long. Then start to bring the leg up and see if you can keep the lumbar curve. If it feels good to you to roll back into it, fine. But I like to make sure you know what position you're placing your pelvis in. Be mindful about that. Bring the arm inside. Take the other hand to the top of the thigh. So we're lengthening through the straight leg. Hold the foot, just play around, bring it to the side a little bit. So same thing as we did before. Be mindful of your movement. So remember, Hatha Yoga, according to B.K.S. Iyengar, one of the forefathers who brought Hatha Yoga to America from India, his teaching is this: maintain and enhance the natural curves of your spine. So he is the one that really integrated yoga props for the yoga practice: blocks and straps and bolsters and benches, so that we could utilize props to help maintain the alignment of the spine and strengthen it and bring mobility to it so it's supple. So watch yourself today. Watch your breath, feel your breath, and be aware of how you're aligning your pelvis and your spinal column. All right, now we're going to take and cross the leg, cross the ankle over the thigh of the opposite leg and push away. Don't be in a hurry. Got this. Now we're going to pause, anchor the navel to the spine, bring the leg out. Now a little comparison here to the other side. And please watch the foot, the ankle that's on the leg. There's a tendency to sickle this foot, and that is not what you want. You want the sole of your foot to be activated. Why? Because that helps to protect your knee. Okay? When the foot is aligned, then the knee is aligned. So yoga helps us become more actively aware of our alignment, how we're aligning our body, and then how we're aligning with the things around us. Are we in alignment? It's a good question. Is this right alignment? We could ask that about a lot of things in life, right? Not just our body, but choices we have in our life. Work, relationships, activities. Is it in right alignment, not only physically, but energetically, emotionally, and spiritually? All right, you're going to hold, give a good stretch, breathe into those deep, deep rotators. So lower back, you might want to do this a few more times each day to help release if this feels right to you. Okay, and we're going to do that last twist. This is also good. You're going to roll onto the side and land your foot on the ground. So you're getting this twist, right? Keep the chest open, maybe drop the knee down. You might like that to get it to the lower back more, then come back up. So remember, the tendency when the lower back is sore is to want to stretch the lower back. However, most often the lower back is sore because you've lost your lumbar curve. So you want to keep that curve. Go ahead and stretch it a little bit, but more importantly, get that curve back in. So this position with the knee up is more of an anterior curve on your lumbar. Feel that. Another breath or two. Bring it up. Stretch it out. Take it down. Take both legs out. Move the feet shoulder width apart. Arms down by your side. And now wobble everything. Wobble, 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 wobble. Notice how that feels. If you need any more releases, please make that happen. Okay. Bolster under the knees is always a good idea. Right? It just helps soften all the joints. Ankles soft, knees soft, hips soft. Make sure the sacrum is well grounded. There should be a little curve under your lower back. Lengthen your ribs away from your pelvis. Then relax the shoulders. Maybe place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Oh, we have time for Shavasana today. Yay. Now, let's let the head gently roll right to left. Be aware of all we did for the neck and shoulders today, especially in the neck. And when you come to center on the back of the head, again, not the chin lifting, but bringing that chin ever so slightly in, and then soften the throat. Feel the breath flowing through your windpipe. Relax the root of your tongue. Swallow. And let the inner mouth relax. The whole of your tongue, your cheeks, your teeth are not touching upper and lower, right? Your jaw is slack. And then your ears are wide open. We're listening. Letting sound come in, the sound of your breath, the sound of my voice, whatever sound may be in your environment. Just relax your ears and let them receive. Feel how it softens your face. Soften your eyes. Let the full weight of your head be supported. Softening the neck. Shoulders relaxed. Being aware of sensation in your hands. Softening through the palms and the fingers. Softening the surface of your skin, letting the outer body release. Relax the muscles. Imagine the muscles relaxing away from the bones now. After all that hugging in, now let go. Let the bones be heavy. And as you rest, sense that energy body, your life force, your prana, and feel into that flow. Be aware of the sensation of your own energy body, your own aliveness. And rest in that inner vibration of your own essence, beat of your heart, flow of your breath, that vibration that is you. In these last few moments, as you're resting here, being aware of your own being, set an intention for this day. I've made a lot of suggestions, but just notice what your intention is for this day, what you'd like to pay attention to, your breath, your body, your ability to listen, to speak your truth, to share your ideas, having relaxed the neck and the throat. How can this attention to these areas of the neck and the lower back affect the quality of your day on all levels? And then clarifying that intention, let your arms float overhead, take a deep breath in, stretch in comfortable ways, bringing your feet to the floor, assist yourself over into a sideline position, and take a few breaths, reaffirming your intention so that your practice becomes a lifestyle. What you learn in your formal time on the mat flows into the moments of your day. Slowly bring yourself up. Arrange yourself upright. Feel the spaciousness you've created in your body. Your hands together, create a little energy between your hands. Place them in your heart. Thankful for all of us gifting this time to our health and well-being. This allows us to be of benefit and service to the web of life. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.